Welcome back to the Gulthias tree. This is session number 7 entitled Yester Hill. At the end of last session, the group made it to the depths of the grove of the Sunless Citadel and engaged in combat mortal with the outcast known as Belek and the two of the missing adventuring group who were from the town of Hillwatch. Um, at the end of the combat, Balak being knocked down several times, and the conflict coming to a very, I wouldn't say close, but definitely poignant kind of position. Um, uh, the Aveline cast a spell which caused gravity to kind of well in a specific area, and this pulled a tree out of the strange tree at the center of the grove that pulsed and undulated like it was living. When the axe was removed from the tree, a mist blew out from the tree and enveloped everyone, blinding them in the moment. Visions were seen in this mist, and when the mist started to clear away from them, they found themselves at the top of a hill. I described it pretty poorly at the end of last session, so I'll do a better job now. You're standing at the high point of the hill, which is flat. It looks like it's been shaved to its point, and encircled with standing rocks, kind of like a small wall. There's a path that leads to a grove of bushes. The bushes look very familiar to specifically Nodder, and they encircle the tree. As I mentioned, it is dead at this point, and it appears to have been uprooted quite a bit with a coffin that's been uncovered that was buried underneath it. A single lancing root from the tree was impaling the coffin. That root has since been removed by Nodder. The strange brambles, Nodder, the ones that look like they might be those strange blight creatures, to you they are blight creatures. But as you have the axe in your hand and you're walking up to the tree to investigate it, you notice that they seem to kind of move and steer away from you, like they're kind of wary of you and your positioning. But you can see that they're kind of keeping to themselves there. In the center of the circle, standing there with you, is a about 10-foot tall wooden effigy of a human, presumably male, based on just the kind of structure of it. It looks like a number of the vines and groupings of the blights have been used to fasten arms and kind of create kind of a sinewy, almost doll-like kind of artifice. It stands there and it appears to be kind of placed up by a tree which has had its limbs shorn from it, and is basically kind of acting as kind of a holder for it. Down the hill, you can see that there are paths that kind of line the outside down certain increments, and near each of these paths there are cairns that stand about 3 feet high. They're nothing more than just a grouping of stones. Nodder, you would recognize these as burial markers. When someone is killed, especially in tribal kind of societies, they're buried feet up and head down into the ground, basically straight down. And then the cairns are placed on top of them. This is basically to restrict them from coming back in some way, shape, or form. In older times, they used to bury them head up towards the sky, and that resulted in some of them returning after death. That said, the forest breaks to the north of you and leads to a path that heads onwards and out, a very simple kind of game trail. To the south of you, probably a decent distance away, but still kind of just noticeable, even through the mists, there is the kind of loud sound of a river off to the south, maybe a couple hundred feet, if that, from your position. And then to the east, forests, dense and filled with fog. You can actually see from your high vantage point the tops of the trees in some points, and you can see the mists kind of lingering on the tops of them as well. And then to the west, mist forming an entire wall that seems to continue from the ground to the heavens as far as you can see. And inside of the mist, you can see the outline of what Avley would know as Seapeed Fortress, um, and everyone else would not recognize, but it seems to be the only source of civilization near you. That said, with all of that now brought to your attention more in detail, what would you like to do as you stand here? One last note, sorry. You didn't know what time it was before when you were inside the bowels of the Sunless Citadel. Time kind of became just a situation of when we're tired, we rest. When we're not, we fight. Now that you're out in the open air, it's nighttime. The sky is dark. You can see clouds kind of roiling across the heavens. Nothing too substantial, but it seems that every so often the patches will kind of open up to allow for a bright white silvery moon to allow its light to cascade down upon you. Everything else, though, it seems starless.
Well, if everyone's awake, I would love to share how there's the tree is now dead and I carved one of its roots while they were still like not aware. And of course I swing my axe towards those little bushes because it's like I have power dominion over you right now. You better back up.
As you even begin to prep the swing, you'll notice that they kind of uproot and kind of move away down the hill, kind of scurrying away from you. There is an absolute terror in these blights of that axe.
And the effigy, can I perceive anything interesting about it?
It's really cool looking.
All right.
It's just, I almost wanted to make it be in T-pose, but it's just kind of hands down to its side, and it looks like it's been carved out of several trees and kind of wrapped together with the brambles and vines of the blights.
And yeah, I just give it a little rap with my left hand as I walk past it and
Give it a nice knock. It's solid.
yeah, and share my experience with the rest of the party.
And Hero, oh sorry, Hero, you would have been brought back to. I think I healed you at the end of last session. Did I?
Yeah, you told me that
Okay.
I was getting healed. I don't remember for how much, but yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sorry
This
to cut you
looks
off, David.
way weirder.
Well, basically just a recap of like what my experiences were, where I was awake and I couldn't wrestle anyone else awake, but also there was an empty coffin and a dead tree where once a live tree and no coffin was. Like trying to shake off my own disorientation. I'm trying to like just talk about it to try and like understand where I'm at right now.
Elenia kind of follows along, kind of nodding, looking off to the west into the fog.
Like, did we get teleported?
I don't know. She looks to the others, also seeking answers.
It would seem so.
I'm not gonna
But
lie.
where?
I feel like I've been here before, but like different. Like not like this exactly. Like it's off.
Elenia nods. There is a familiarity to this place. I agree. We were discussing going that way, she says as she points to the mists. After the way we came here, I'll be honest, I'm a bit scared to enter into the fog, but if it's your wish to do so, I will continue on with you.
I don't know about everybody else, but I kind of think we need a rest.
This seems like a safe enough place as any. Perhaps we could just rest here and someone could take watch.
Sure, it's a little spooky, but we do need to rest.
I don't think it'll get any better down the hill or in the fog. She
Well,
says with a smile.
no better place then.
the top of the hill. All right.
Nap time.
So I think everybody here, with the exception of Aveline, has to sleep for 8 hours to kind of get a full, real, like, rest to it. Um, Aveline can stay conscious and aware for 6 hours when she's down, but yeah, she does need to basically deactivate and be functionless for 6 hours straight.
Doesn't sleep like people?
No.
Power down.
Technically, this is the first time you will have like slept as a group, with the exception of the entry in. You slept before you entered into the Sunless Citadel, so this is literally like day 3 of your adventures together.
We got a lot done.
Sleepover.
Fair. So yeah, if your goal is to take a rest here, then I just need to know how you want to kind of keep watch. Like I mentioned, Stephanie's character can technically stay vigilant as you all sleep, but if something kind of comes during that cycle, it will kind of break the 6-hour spell, and she'll have to kind of her rest, and she'll have to kind of start over.
With the first or last.
Well, with the 6-hour block that she needs to power down. It's like charging a phone. If you get your phone off the charger and like start playing with it, you're gonna have to, charge it longer. It feels like.
Yeah.
And by playing with it, I mean defending against monsters.
I'll take a watch, I suppose. I could take the last watch.
Okay. And so I know in most games that I've played, watch cycles will come either in 4-hour or 2-hour blocks, depending on how many people you have. If you're going to do a 4-hour block cycle, you'd need to be down 12 hours, and 3 of you would need to take watches. If you're going to take a 2-hour block cycle with Madeline being present, she could take 1 for her first bit, and then be down for 6. And then you could basically have one person rest for 8 and do 2, and another person rest for 8 in the middle and do 2 on the outside. So you'd still be down for about 10 to 12 hours. Easiest is the 3-hour watch cycle.
Yeah.
Or the 4-hour watch cycle.
That works.
So Sen on first, you said?
Last.
Last, sorry. And Hero, first or
I'll take first.
and then that would put Aveline in the middle then. Okay. Sounds good. So during the first watch, you kind of stay present, ever vigilant. There doesn't appear to be much going on movement-wise. The mists kind of move. Every so often you think you see a shadow inside of the mists kind of moving about, but to the west of you. But nothing seems to come out of the mists or anything, or you're not able to kind of focus and lock in on anything that's actually tangibly shadow-worthy. The cairns are, there are a lot of them, but they don't appear to be doing anything weird. The blights kind of keep their distance and stay near the tree. Some of them don't look like they're able to come up out of the ground, like they're still in the process of growing. But that it does seem that they grow out and around this dead tree. Nothing really happens on the second watch. You then head to sleep, and Aveline would basically be prepared to take the second watch. Much of the same. Really not much happening here. It seems like a pretty safe, fortified position. Not a lot is willing to open out or come out into the effective kill zone around the top of the hill. As you're kind of, just sitting there watching, you think you might see... oh, wow. Yeah. Quick note about the size of this place. The squares here are not 5-foot squares. They're 50-foot, so this is a lot bigger a zone than it looks like. So apologies there. You're on a pretty high hill. It's about 400 to 500 feet tall. But yeah, nothing seems to be happening during the second watch in the middle of the night. That is, of course, until it comes towards the conclusion and you're about ready to go and wake Nodder. You see something streaking across the sky. It seems to be moving from a northwesterly direction to more of a southeasterly direction, and it's well off, 1,000 or so feet off in the distance. But it's bright red, and it streaks across the sky. If you'd like to make a perception check to see if you can't kind of focus in on it a little bit more to see if you can't see shadows in the sky as well. And Nodder, I'll go ahead and let you make this perception check as well, as she's just kind of waking you up as this is happening.
All right.
You're both really good. So as you're kind of looking up at the sky and Nodder, you're kind of getting up out of your bedroll, you can see this red streak, and as you focus in and look at it, you know how if you like look up at the sky at night and see like an airplane's, shining lights, you can kind of make out the outline of the plane a little bit? Well, it's well off, but you can see what looks like a very small like horse moving at the front of the red track. All right,
Chariot in the sky?
just a single horse.
Am I? You see this horse in the sky?
If I'm not mistaken, that's indeed a horse.
Okay,
All
I
right.
couldn't tell if I was dreaming.
Emily finishes
Duh.
the rest of her down cycle, and Nodder, you spend the rest of the day, or the evening rather, watching. Nothing happens. The sun does come up, but it seems like the clouds up above seem to anticipate it, and the small breaks that you would see that would kind of let the moon shine its light seem to kind of fill in and wedge out and kind of block it out in the morning light. It's all gray. Everything is gray. It's just so gray. It's the grayest. And yeah, it's pretty bitter cold, but not like not so cold that it's tenable, especially for you. You're a bear. But yeah, it's just cold.
I don't like the cold. But also, this does not seem natural. How does attunement work?
So if you spend a rest with a weapon, short or long, it attunes to you. You can only be attuned to up to 3 items at a time. So once you have 3 items attuned and you're going to attune to another one, you have to drop one to get the other.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I believe this
Can I
is.
attune
Yeah, you're
my
attuned.
tree bar?
You're
All right,
attuned
cool.
to tree bar.
All right.
Same is true with Shatter Spike.
Can I, like, perceive how real this is to me? Because it's like there's a horse in the sky and the clouds change to the will of the sky. Also, it doesn't seem right.
Sure, sure. Yeah, it definitely feels very real. You kind of play with the ground, knock on the tree man again, kind of move around your environment, kind of start pawing at some, random object, move over to the tree,
I
kind of
taste the dirt.
do one of those bear scratches against the bark. You're like, this is all real. This is all so real.
It doesn't fit.
But yeah, like everything has kind of changed to this morning light. The weirdest part about this for you, Nodder, and the thing that keeps on making you go, this can't be real, is every time you look back over to the fog, it's like a picture. Somebody took watercolor and painted like grays and whites, and then the outline of a castle, and that's just locked, frozen in the mists over there to the west.
Oh, it's messing with me.
Yeah, you'd think that someone would have lights on during the night in a keep like that. You'd be able to see them in the dark like this. But no, it's just a dark silhouette of a keep off in the distance.
Well, I'll just continue my watch though.
Yep. Everyone starts to kind of wake up. Elenia pulls out her holy symbol and starts praying to Atavius. Hero, you wake up, well rested. Still a little bit of a pain in your chest for where those magic missiles slammed into you, but definitely, full capabilities. Um, yeah, and Sen, it's just so gray. It's like the city can get pretty foggy and weird, but this just feels like intrusive. It's like,
Not right.
yeah.
Not enough color.
So, how would you like to proceed?
Suppose we should start heading down the mountain at some point. Is everyone awake?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do we want to tell anyone about the
Weird horse? 100%.
A horse?
I don't know. I was getting woken up, but yeah, we looked up in the sky and there was a red horse flying through the sky, middle of the night.
Look at my horse.
There's something about this whole place that it doesn't sit well with me. I don't know.
If you would be so
Yeah.
kind, Hero, when he mentions flying red horse, can you roll a history check?
Sure. 13.
Tip of your brain, there's something there. It has to do with the Dragon Queen, Ashvadia, but you're just not... Can't put your finger on it. It just sounds so familiar.
Hmm.
Elenia's finishing her prayers as you all are kind of probably siphoning, through your rations to kind of get a little bit of sustenance in your belly. Elenia kind of slams her holy book closed and throws it back into her bag and says, "We can't stay on this hill forever. We mentioned going into the fog. Is that our plan?" Or she looks to the road, looks to the south, looks off into the forest.
I'm interested in going in the road.
Okay.
I mean, roads lead to somewhere.
I'm curious about the fortress now.
The more I look at the fortress, the more I'm wary of it. Like I said last night to Nodder, if that's where you all wish to go, I will go with you, but something about the way it looks. And she's kind of saying it, looking at it, the camera kind of pans back and it's kind of showing the wide shot of it. It's just the silhouette of the keep. Scary.
I would say before we head off, we have to feed our kittens real quick.
Kittens.
Oh, this is out of character.
Oh.
It was out of character, but in character to confuse everyone. We forgot to feed the cats real quick before this, and they can't really wait till 9.
Go.
So we do that real fast.
Yeah. Is it gonna take
Hero.
long?
Blacker.
Oh, okay.
It takes a few minutes.
Starving your
Cat-
children.
Cat break.
I am so hungry.
In my defense, it is Stephanie's turn to feed. I feed in the morning, so.
Well, then she can go do it, and you can stay, and she'll just be dragged along wherever we go. She made her suggestion. She made her suggestion. She said the road. That's where she wants to go, so we can all go somewhere else.
we will turn her off, put her in my bag, and
Just pull those limbs back off, use them as
Just-
clubs.
yeah, I mean,
Haul
we
her
got
over.
infinite weapons.
Fair.
I could
Haul her
use that
over your
arm as a
shoulder.
cannon. Like,
100%
you just
gonna
be
use her
blasting
arm.
people.
It's just like,
That
So
would
I just
be,
went and blast him.
that would be cool. Like just going in with 2 of her arms, just.
I've got to draw that now. That's just a rifle that's just a person's arm. But yeah, Elenia seems wary of the foggy keep, and Aveline seems to want to go on the road to the north. Hero, Sen, and Nodder, what are your thoughts?
So, let me I kind of forgot a little bit. The keep is towards the fog wall,
Yeah,
not the road.
To the west, and then the road
Gotcha.
to the north just kind of leads off into the forest. It's like a game trail. To the south, there's the sound of a rushing river, probably a couple hundred feet off, and then to the east, it's just trees, forest. wild adventure. But yeah, this is pretty sandbox. There's no, I'm not making you go in any direction.
Well,
I feel like the keep is going to be a key point of all this, but I'm cool with exploring the world to try and get more information.
I'll go where everyone else votes on going, but let the record state that I say we should be heading towards the keep.
Okay, so we
There's
had
something not right about this area, and I'd like to discover that as quickly as possible before we fall victim to something else.
the two warriors seem to kind of think the keep might be a good place to go. And then Sen, yeah, it looks
I
like
the idea of a road. Personally, being a city folk and all.
well, it's more of a game trail. So it's, I guess the best way to describe it is like a old kind of dirty kind of road that seems to break the trees, and yeah, it doesn't look like it's a road. Like,
A road is a road.
fair enough.
More road than just wandering off the mountain.
Well, also as a city folk, you would also know that most cities are on rivers to allow for easy access through shipping in that route.
This is true.
So the river might not be a bad choice either. The worst choice for you, I think, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree, is going into the woods. Like,
Yeah.
that's the worst choice.
We're not going into the woods.
It's probably not her second choice. It's like fog, forest, road, river, right? Probably.
The only reason woods is not the first choice is
Is because keep.
the castle looks weird, and I got an axe.
But you
And I got an axe.
Well, I guess
storm the castle with an axe.
it kind of comes down to a decision between the ladies at the table and the gentlemen at the table here. In the but that said, like, is anyone out of character, like the players, willing to kind of concede towards the other person's point before I throw in the fifth wheel tiebreaker? Because I don't want to. Again, I don't want it to be my decision. That's boring.
Oh no,
I will
yeah.
say I
Okay.
did say that I would be willing to go where the group wants to.
And
Okay.
I'm cool with exploring the world before going into like a really dangerous fight.
Yeah, I believe both of you had that
Possibly.
caveat of let's go to the keep, but I'll go wherever you want to go besides. And then Aveline said the road seems like the best choice, and Sen is like road equals civilization, civilization equals good. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, if there's an opportunity to glean more about like what we're dealing with here, then I'm cool with that.
okay. And Elizabeth, Sen is pretty certain on the road, or is Sen also kind of keeps right there? That looks like civilization. No, it's creeped out by the keep.
Keep looks scary.
Got it. Mission accomplished, I guess.
And Alenia being like, hey, this scares me, and Alenia is like
the priest.
pretty tenured.
Yeah. She seems to know a bit. Yeah, so she doesn't understand it either. She's definitely on the same path as you. But if you all start kind of nominating and sounding like it's going to go for the road, she's very much, pack over her shoulder and starts heading over in that direction. Like, okay, we've got a choice, and she's not even looking over her shoulder back at the keep. That sounds great. Let's do that.
Oh, this doesn't sound like Alenia anymore. Who is this? I've never seen her act like this.
That
It's been
was
3 days.
In all the 3 days that I've known you, who are you
Who?
now?
What's going on? It's like a whole paradigm shift. I don't. She seems very
Let's go.
adamant about getting a move on towards the goal in hand. So yeah, if you follow the game trail, it goes on for quite a while, and I mean quite a while. I would say it lasts for the better portion of a mile and a half, 2 miles, heading northern on this path. Every so often you can hear a sound from the trees, a caw, caw of a raven, kind of just echoing off into the forest. When you kind of move into certain portions of the road, you can hear the flutter of wings and like a cascade of feather and leaf kind of hitting the ground nearby as these blackbirds kind of fly off into the sky. Occasionally, it feels like you can see them kind of stopped and stooped kind of near where you're at. I think Sen would probably be pretty, like over the shoulder more than anybody else. And every so often, you're pretty sure they're watching you or following you, but then they'll kind of, when you walk towards them, will fly away. You think they might be regrouping behind you. It feels, I mean, ravens are pretty smart creatures, and they appear to just be kind of it. You're not sure if you're like giving them humanistic kind of properties, or if there really is some sort of intelligence looming there. But it certainly feels like they're watching you. But at that 2 mile marker, there's kind of a break in the forest line to the west of you. It seems to open out into massive field, and the field seems to be just littered with growing vines of grapes. It doesn't look like they're in season, but it does look like there are a lot of posts for the grapes. There's some laughter about shirts, I think. Is that what's happening?
That's my shirt. I literally just got it out of the mailbox before we started. Didn't even open the package, and she immediately opens it and takes it and starts wearing it.
You're the one who wanted me to go into the kitchen.
I believe that's revenge for making her feed the cats when she was scheduled to do so.
Whenever you get married, what's yours is hers.
Right.
Just remember that.
Right. It's not your shirt, it's our shirt.
Yes.
I own you, bitch.
Holy fuck. But anyways, so there's a break in the tree line, and like I said, you can see off there's a vineyard. It looks like it's kind of the back end of the vineyard. You think that it continues on north a bit, and this pathway might lead to possibly the house that goes along with the vineyard, or whatever settlement is near there.
A vineyard means wine.
Yeah, so it would definitely be what you would estimate as a vineyard, correct?
What's the too long didn't read of what's going on?
We took the road.
Oh, where?
Yeah.
Where are we now?
Hold
Out
on.
of vineyard.
Let me try and see if I can't throw you a Shutterstock picture of what I'm looking at. This is in the general for Discord if you want to take a look. But a lot of mist, and you can't see the buildings. If that's helpful.
Get some grapes.
Yeah,
Some
like
vino.
it doesn't look like they're growing right now. It kind of looks like they're in decline.
So past season, which means wine has been made.
Onward towards the building.
Yes, please.
Okay. If you continue on, heading for this location, you would see it as you kind of continue to approach. It appears to be a pretty strange-looking building. It's the road closer to it is kind of a muddier trail that kind of meanders, in and around the vineyard proper. It descends gradually. And it reveals the vineyard in question more so. And the building, like I was saying, it looks like it is probably about 2 stories tall. It looks like looks like it's an old fortification. Actually, it looks like it has 2 kind of colonnades or kind of tower structures on its side, and it looks like in the roof area there are crenellations around the exterior wall, and it looks like there are arrow slits on the second floor. The arrow slits look like they've been kind of filled in with small windows. So it definitely looks like someone has revamped the grounds proper. From the direction that you're coming at it, on the back end, you can see kind of a simple roofed kind of extension coming out the back end with a chimney kind of built into one of the corners of this extension. And there's a step that goes up to a door on the opposite side from where the fireplace, the smokestack, would be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. How would you like to approach? Much like the silhouette of the keep, there doesn't
I
appear to
was
be.
muted.
Oh,
No.
go ahead.
Can we perceive if anyone's like still there? Like, can we tell if there's any like life right now?
So that was to my point. It does look like there isn't any real movement. It does look like there are a number of ravens kind of populated on the rooftops, but it doesn't look like there's anyone inside based on the fact that it's pretty dark out, even this early in the morning, and there don't appear to be any lights anywhere.
And there's no like smoke coming out of the smokestack or anything.
None.
Hmm.
Oh, I try and open this door.
But let's knock first.
Or if you're civilized.
Were you born in a barn?
I mean,
Everything is meant for sharing.
As
when
you
put it that way.
as you kind of approach, you would see that there's kind of a bit of a light drizzle kind of starting to fall in the area. It's not anything to kind of find shelter from. It's just a mist in the air. Oh man, it's gonna get old. Unpainted, there are unpainted fences that kind of blindly follow a trail that kind of leads out from kind of near where you're at up to the door that I'd mentioned. All along the fences, there are ravens, kind of dotting it, almost kind of beckoning you to enter, or possibly their braying is kind of like laughing at you for considering it. You're not sure. The fog, with the rain coming down this way, seems to kind of swell and swirl around you, and moves kind of strangely through the neatly tended rows of grapevines. Here and there, you see rope-handled half barrels used for hauling said grapes. It does look like there are only a couple that are out, and based on what you're seeing in them, it's stuff that didn't make the cut. The not too far from here, not terribly close to the house, but like almost kind of off to the side of it, there is a large stand of trees, and near those trees there's a man wearing a dark cloak and cowl that stands at the edge of the trees, and they seem to be making a beckoning gesture towards you.
Odin, that you?
Cloak and cowl?
My time go.
There are a number of ravens near him.
Oh.
The Odin
Out of
re-
character. Odin, that you?
Do you head over to them or no?
Sure.
I'll
why
take
not?
some steps over.
Yeah.
Okay. As you approach him, he looks to you and says, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
We're a small party. We've gotten taken here through means we don't understand.
If you kind of get closer to him in the trees, he kind of continues to kind of gesture you to come into the forest or into the woods a little bit with him. It seems like he's trying to get you to avoid the line of sight of the house.
Oh. You're the first, like, living thing we've... So,
What?
Well,
But-
besides the ravens.
The spot he
like the raven.
the spot the spot he kind of leads you into, you see that there are a number of cloaks kind of laying on the ground, just kind of present there, like people might have been in them, but they just kind of fell off or tossed them aside. And as he's kind of saying that, you see a number of ravens kind of fluttering around in that area, and a number of them kind of land near the cloaks. And as they do so, the ravens start to shape shift and change from raven form into humanoid form. And you can see them coming into their
Spooky.
human-like shapes without any kind of clothing whatsoever. And as they're doing so, they're very quickly and deftly pulling the cloaks over themselves as they take their humanoid forms and bundling them closed. The gentleman in the cloak with you kind of looks to you and says, "Look, we have an issue here. There are individuals, servants of the demon Gulthias, who reside in that place. They've taken it over from us. We are the Wizards of Wines, and we would like our abode returned to us. Unfortunately, the creatures they are able to control are our brethren, and the way that they can speak to our brethren allows them to control us very easily. My name is Davian. Davian Markov. This is the rest of my family. My son Adrian, my other son Elvir, my daughter Stefania, and her husband Dak. They nod. If you came here for wine, there is some inside of our establishment, and we are willing to give it over to you if you're willing to remove the elements that are currently residing within. I promise you the fight won't be easy, but you seem like a capable lot. Looks to Hero and then to Nodder. Out of the back, the one that he addressed as Adrian looks to Nodder and says, "What are you? A werebear?"
Just a bear. Bear.
Wow.
Me.
I've
Nodder.
Bear.
I have heard of curses like ours, but they turn people into bears instead. Certainly a more prideful thing than the most common of these curses, the wolves. And as he's saying that, you see Davian kind of sneer back at him. "Lest the demon hear. Shh! Silence!" Looks
Are
back to
you cursed into this form?
Aye. We suffer from lycanthropy. We are were-ravens.
The demon Gulthias did this to you?
No. Well, no. In a way, yes. Everyone here in this land is cursed. And it is because of him.
So are all of the ravens?
No.
Evil? Oh, just some of them.
We command certain attention from typical ravens, and they do assist us in our processing. And your mind kind of flutters to, like, ravens kind of moving to the grapevines and pulling the grapes off and dropping them in a bag that a person's kind of walking with. And you're like,
That's cute.
"That's adorable."
Great.
Can I, like, check for their honesty?
Yeah, if you want to make an insight check to kind of get a feel for what's being spoken here, yeah.
Oh, it's not very high. Not that kind of guy.
What'd you get?
What is that show?
Oh, no, just for the stream. For a reminder, because I don't stream the numbers. It's boring to look at.
I got a 10.
10 it is. So, yeah, they seem honest enough. You notice that 4 of the ravens towards the back are kind of hiding behind Stefania and Dag. It does look like they are more attentive. Sen, you are pretty sure you recognize them from the road, like they followed you along here. They look like younger ravens. The presumption is that they might be related in some way to Stefania and Dag. Anyways, Adrian, after being silenced and Davian, after kind of speaking for a moment, kind of looks to you again and says, kind of like forcing the question, so will you do it? The servants of the demon Gulthias here are tree shapers. They rule down at Yester Hill and bury their dead there. It is my understanding that they wish to summon up a living form of the twisted spirit of nature as a servant to Gulthias.
Out of character, who is in this conversation?
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unless you stayed back, but I'm assuming once he kind of beckoned Nodder into a tree line that you couldn't see him, you were like, well, we better follow, or we're going to lose ourselves a bear. He runs back out of the tree line with a beak on his head. Ah! Oh, Nodder.
Gulthias is also our enemy.
I wouldn't speak that too loudly, but not in this place. But I commend you in your bravery. Just know that if you say these words aloud in the wrong company, well, it could be very bad for you.
How much do you understand of this place? So this place, it's not where we're from. This isn't from.
Where do you come from?
Where I'm from, things it's like I remember this place, but it's in different. It's like mirrored in a weird way.
Did you come with bitter hearts? The Bitterheart people. They're a grouping of people who travel beyond the mists, sometimes pass through here to deliver wines. We sell them quite a large amount, but they're the only people who are from other places or go to other places. Not many are allowed outside of the Bitterheart Vale, besides the Bitterhearts.
Is this a private place for you then, and your family?
Well, our house is our private property. Just right now it's being occupied by forest witches and small tree people, and they're commanding some of the ravens that once followed us into defending them as well. I think our horses are still in there, says Elvir from the back, the youngest of the sons of Davian. And Davian says, ah yes, our horses are also within. I wouldn't be surprised if they've been consumed by those foul blights, but hopefully they still live. Probably corrupting our wine as we speak.
That's
We need to go and help them.
Free wine, guys.
so. Then the bitter hearts have a means of traveling through the mist. Is there? We don't know these people. We didn't come through those.
Oh, you travel through the mists on your own.
Yes.
It
He
is
pulled
said.
out an axe, or someone pulled. There was
We were-
an axe pulled out, and then we were here.
Do you show the axe?
I'll show the axe. We were fighting a servant of Gulthias.
They don't seem to take any notice of the axe, or, are terribly concerned. But then they look, to you again and say, "No one besides the Bitterhearts are allowed to pass through the mists. If it is, and they've tried to help Gulthias pass through the mists, but he's not been allowed to do so. It is common knowledge that he wishes to return to his castle, Fort Saifi, to help Ashvadia take over the western marches and destroy all of the lands therein for the dragon goddess." We haven't seen her in a long time either. The mists bar even her from entering this place, so it is said. I suggest that you find your way. And he kind of stops himself. Will you help us with our matter at first? It sounds like you're involved in a lot other more pressing matters, but we really need our place of business reestablished for us, and these interlopers are causing us a bit of a problem in our endeavors here. If you help us with this, we can repay you with perhaps a lead on who you can speak to, who might be able to assist you more knowledge-wise as to what you're seeking here. Does this...
I will agree to help out, but I have one question of my own real quick.
Of course.
You mentioned the dragon. Do you know anything about a flying red horse in relation?
Yes. You mean Nightstar. That's Gulthias' steed. And kind of like when it flashes into your head, you remember Ashmedea had a lieutenant who rode a Nightmare, which is a black horse with red fiery mane, literally fiery mane and fiery hooves. Did you see this horse?
I didn't, but my friends here did.
Not many who see it are typically allowed to live.
Well, Nodder, it was
Talk
nice
about the
knowing
horse
you,
in the
friend.
sky.
This is awkward.
They can come and try and kill me.
That was all I had to ask. I am free to help you at this point.
All we gotta do is take back that house, right?
Yes, of course. I believe there are 2, 3. It looks over back to his family, and you see Stefania say, there are 3 of these nature witches, and I believe they have a dozen or so of the small blight creatures with the needle-like hands, and I'd say a dozen or so score of ravens. If you are able to move into the house undetected and defeat the witches themselves, mayhaps the others will just fall easier. We unfortunately fear them the most, so it is why we remain out here instead of attempting anything.
Delta.
Well, sounds like a job for me.
Adrian in the back says, are we still going to give them the wine? And you see Davian kind of look over his shoulder and then look back to you. I suppose since I've already offered it, I can't retract that offer, even though I've also offered you knowledge. He looks like he's kind of leaning on you to say, just the knowledge is fine. But in your mind, you're like, we'll take all of it. We'll take all of it.
A little wine. I don't know how we'll carry all the wine. I don't need that. But...
We drink some of the wine.
Fair.
Carry the rest. No, I'm kidding.
Sounds badness.
You aren't kidding.
If it is your goal to move on the house, just let me know what your plans are in that regard, and I will move us to that bid. But if it is not your plan to move on that house, then tell me what you want to do.
House.
Yeah, house?
I gave them my word that I would help solve their issue for that bit of information, so I'll be going regardless.
Right.
I know I'm not the stealthiest, so I will hang back. I guess not try and
Stealth
ruin a sneak
is
attack.
my job, so
Okay.
I guess I can try and infiltrate the house first.
Okay. So the house from your current position in the tree line is about 300 feet away. And it would basically be right up a very identifiable trail with the rails running alongside of it. If you move to the northern portion of the tree line you're in and then kind of breach out across towards the house, you'd have a lesser kind of distance, but still a quite open one, as most of that area is the road that leads past the vineyards and onwards towards the north. That muddy trail that we talked about you coming in on. But if you head back south the way you came in towards the vineyards and then up and around and in, you can use the vineyards as cover, and it would be a much longer distance to travel, but you would have the benefit of traveling through kind of the bushes of the grapevines instead of out in the open. So which one of these three methods would you like to take?
South through the vineyards.
Do you wish to take
Yeah,
anyone
that way.
with you at all, or no? Are you expecting the rest of the group to remain at the tree line and wait for you? And if so, what are they waiting for? And once they've met to that waiting point, what do they do next? And these are questions that Alenia is basically asking you.
Yeah. I think if they wait, if the group waits at the north, where it's a shorter but more open distance to the house. Let's see, is there anything? I'm wondering if there's something that I could use as a signal.
You're pretty sure that like a colored piece of fabric, similar to like maybe the cravat that Alenia wears, or just if you have like a scarf or something, if you kind of wave it, it will definitely starkly contrast against the gray muted colors of the stone walls and the everything.
True. Yeah, I'll use that.
It'll be like one of those cool photos where there's like it's all black and white. There's like one red element or something.
Wait, no, that wouldn't work. Never mind.
Okay. If you're moving, go ahead and make me a stealth check for the movement, and I will. I've got my DC set.
18.
It's arduous, and it's definitely a lengthy process, and it's certainly a process in which you kind of end up getting your knees and kind of like probably the entirety of your pants dirty with mud as you're kind of moving, getting down beneath parts of the vines where they kind of attach together, and not being able to kind of maneuver around them, going underneath the bushes instead of further and out and around. You come to a point where you're literally like 10 feet off of the back wall. And hold on a second here. Let me just double check and make sure. I believe we've got global lighting. We are moving to a different map.
Ow.
It should be in the middle.
Yeah.
All right. So you're at the bottom of the map, and then you folks there, you're kind of at the bottom right. Effectively, you are at the tree line. Since she told you to kind of move towards the north end of the house, you'll actually be kind of closer to here as your start point. And Sen, you kind of move up towards the house. You can see that there's a window. Kind of looking in, you can see it looks like some sort of like tool room or processing room of some sort. And you can kind of move up to the wall and kind of get into a stealth position there. But once there, how would you like to proceed?
Get right here by the wall. So this to my left.
Yeah, the small kind of piece you're...
It's just a window.
Yeah, the piece that you're kind of next to here is that small little extension I had mentioned. The fireplace is on the left side there. It's that kind of divot off to the side. And if you kind of cut to the right a little bit, you'll see the stairs that lead into the building. There is a door there, but yeah, the window it's leaded glass, kind of thicker on the exterior instead of the middle, like it was kind of blown in a non-flat way, and it's wrought iron that kind of binds the glass therein. But kind of looking into it, you can see, like, if you want to kind of maneuver yourself around there, it looks like some sort of bottling room, and it looks like there are a couple of buckets on the ground, and a door just across the way, and a staircase that seems to lead down into the ground, like a basement,
Hmm. Like a wine cellar.
perhaps.
Okay. So I just see the door and the stairwell and the bottle
Working station, yeah.
working space. I'm gonna go ahead and move towards the stairs. They're at the side. And is the door locked or anything?
Um, Investigating it, you would note that the door is not locked. Make an investigation check, though. Okay.
Bad.
Yeah, it's not locked. It looks like it's perfectly normal door. Do you open it?
This feels like a trap, but yeah.
Okay. As you open it, you note that the thing that you missed was the fact that the hinges are very rusty, and as it kind of opens, it's like a stock sound effect, the sound, and you're almost certain in your mind, like there's probably 3 or 4, if nearby, individuals with like question marks that are popping up over their head, and a casual "What was that noise?" that is being thrown out somewhere in the the place proper. You would also note that there do appear to be ravens up above you on the like the battlements at the top of the building. You kind of cautiously look up to them and would note that none of them are looking down at you at current.
Okay.
Did I get rid of that door? I did not. There it goes. All right. On the left side of the wall, behind, you push the door off to the right, so it kind of moves towards the right side, towards the steps. You'd see that there are wine racks. About half the bottles are empty and half the bottles are full. There are a couple of bottles on the table, and it looks like a pitcher of some kind of liquid sitting on the table. There's a door to the north of you. Yeah.
Let's investigate this door.
As you kind of move towards the door, I'd like for you to make a perception check.
Okay. 23.
You hear kind of like a creaking noise on floorboards. Directly above you, there's no like. You can see like the shaping of the roof. Basically, like it's a vaulted roof above you, but it's got oh my god, what are they called? I jump in them all the time when I play D&D. Rafters. You can see the rafters of the building structure above you. So it's definitely not directly above you. It seems that it's beyond the door, that someone is on like the second level and is moving around, and then you hear like steps, like someone's coming downstairs. What would you like to do?
Run. No.
That's an option. That's an option.
It is true.
I've seen a TikTok video one time.
That one time.
That one time. I'm hip. I'm with it. But yeah.
I know what a tic tac is.
Exactly. But do you want to go forward, or do you want to do something other than that? Again, just tell me where your brain space is, and I can kind of try and help you with that.
I'm actually going to. retreat out of this
Okay.
area, back out, and I'm going to edge myself along the wall.
Are you keeping the door open or closing it?
Keeping it open because it's going to make more noise.
But if somebody comes into the room you were in, they'll see an open door.
But I'm outside now.
And they can be too, just by walking out the open door, following you.
True.
If you want, okay, here I'll give you the idea of what I'm going for. If you want to close the door, there is a chance that they will figure it out because it'll make more noise. You can make a stealth check to try and mitigate that because we're at that stage where you know it's going to make the mess. You know how to fix that problem before it becomes a problem, which is what you would have gleaned if you made the investigation check. If you want to close the door and it's successful, the party that's following you may not know that someone came into the room. If the door is left ajar, it's literally like, in your mind, in Sen's mind, rather, it's literally, they're probably that way. You know what I mean?
True.
So,
yeah, I guess I'll roll stealth and close the door.
okay.
8.
Air creak sound, and then you rush out, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me where you're going from there.
I would like to go around this. That seems too. I'm gonna run around the back, which seems counterintuitive.
This way?
No, this way.
Okay.
Away from the party. Because I don't want to have them also get taken notice of.
All right. So give me another stealth check because you are going to be creating a weird situation here.
That's me.
Yep.
Ooh, 7.
As you kind of look off towards where your friends and where you're expected to give the signal, and then you have that thought of, I better not involve them in this, and then kind of turn and rush the other direction. You run past the window without even remembering it's there, and you see a pair of eyes looking at you, and as you look at her, you see a slightly, comely woman, kind of wearing like loose-fitting kind of hide clothing, and as she kind of looks at you with like her eyes go from like a suspicious to a and then she says, "Winner!" And you can hear it out of the glass, and then you hear "caw-caw, caw-caw, caw-caw" from the ceiling above.
Oh no!
And that's an initiative tracker. So yeah, what I would like for you to do is go ahead and roll initiative for me, and then the rest of the group, who are kind of off in the distance, you are definitely going to see repercussions of this combat going on. So there will be time for you to interject, but obviously you are about 200 feet from the building, so it won't be soon.
Because I'm dumb.
Just bad rolls. Can't help it. Sometimes it happens, sometimes,
Oh.
I
Druid.
tried.
I remember I rolled so bad once that my entire sword broke.
That's
Don't worry too much about it.
That's a
That's
thing
true.
that happened.
2 cool new swords.
3.
But think about it. If I die, I'll be murdered by a murder.
Yeah,
Double murder.
that's true. Yeah, they call it a swarm of ravens, and I'm like, missed opportunity.
But it's actually a murder of ravens.
It is indeed.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Is it?
Or maybe that's just
I thought it was crows.
Yeah.
I've only heard it said with crows.
Ravens are basically the same.
They're all corvids. Did you know that the blue jay is also related to crows and ravens? They're
Those
their
sneaky
fancier
bastards.
They're their fancier cousin. An unkindness or
Or
a
a
conspiracy.
conspiracy.
Dang it, yeah.
Murder by conspiracy.
Oh, is that what it is for ravens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
I
an
literally
unkindness.
just looked it up as well.
I was also Googling it, so I just was a little slower because I'm also preparing her demise. So,
Apparently, crows are also actually not called a murder either. They're called a parliament. Or no, it's a group of owls.
Oh, yeah, that makes more
But
sense.
but it's not. But it's not murder of crows. That's actually false too.
A group of owls called a court.
Yeah. Well, so that's a Batman comic. Anyways, so,
It is a Batman. That was a good arc, actually. If you
not,
read it.
It was not
A
bad.
group
I have
of
not- I
crows
have not.
is called a murder.
So select your tokens if you aren't Sen or the Druid, and go ahead and just get yourself on the initiative docket. I'm going to do the same for Alenia. I hope.
Maybe.
Perhaps. Yeah, she always be
It's
rolling.
awful.
She always be rolling fresh.
Oh,
They
Alright,
see
I
me
forgot to
rolling.
with my token.
It's okay, I can throw you on there.
I lost my character sheet. Oh, there we go. I should keep having this.
I think I
When you
just
just lose it.
need hero on there.
Apparently, most. Oh wait, are we doing initiative?
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative on there.
Oh, got it.
You're like,
I
I'm,
didn't
learning.
know we were also rolling.
I'm studying
It
the.
said that it wasn't.
Well, you have an opportunity to interject. If you're using ranged weapons, it's a better chance because you're only
13.
about 200 feet off. All right, cool. So, before the initiative starts, I would like for everyone that is in the tree line, because we are watching for a signal and have been here for about 30 minutes doing so. Go ahead and make a perception check. And really good. 21 for the bear. Not so good for Alenia. Hero, also really good.
22.
Super good. And for Aveline?
I'm trying.
The
So-
girls are like, they're probably just getting drunk.
Ready for the drop of my
They
hat.
were really excited about the wine.
So tell me what you know about Gulthias.
Oh.
Oh
he
my gosh.
cute?
Oh my gosh. What's the name of that rule? What's the name of that rule where I can't remember the Bechdel test? That's anyways.
Yeah.
Off topic, back to the game.
Is he cute?
Is he
How do I die?
So Alenia goes
Oh.
first, and she is not aware of the conflict, so she is not acting. Sen, you are up. You know that the druid is effective. If you were to look, if you were back in that room, the door, like they're right inside the door, in between the steps downward and the table. Okay. What would you like to do? And then for purposes here, the ravens above you are kind of like this, but about 40 feet up.
Gotcha. How many ravens are there?
It's a swarm of them, so
Right.
whatever we
A lot.
decided the amount of groupings of ravens is, it's one of them.
I would like to. Pull my crossbow
Okay.
and can I better position myself as well, just a little bit?
Yeah.
I'd like to be right here at this diagonal corner so that I'd be able to
If it comes out and around, you can shoot.
and still have a little bit of cover so I could.
Gotcha. Hero, here's what you witness from the outside with that 22 perception. You see the ravens kind of raising their wings and kind of fluttering, some of them kind of moving downwards, and you kind of and look towards that side. You see Sen like standing near the door for a second, and then kind of dart and kind of rush around a corner, and as they do so, you can see that there's a panic in their face as they're kind of coming around. And then you think you hear something else besides that, but it's too far off in the distance to tell for sure. But yeah, they definitely look like they are in full panic mode running around the other side of the building.
When you say other side, you mean like up north?
Like-
where I am, because
No, they're moving towards the western side of the building versus the eastern side that you're on.
yeah, but like on the north side or
They're on the south side.
oh, okay, on the south side. Yeah, I can only see so much on this map right now, so that's why I'm asking.
No worries. I'll use pointers. Hold on a second. So I'm talking. This is what you're kind of looking at this way, and you see Sen
Okay.
with the look of panic, kind of rushing out that way, like they're heading away from you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
They're about two. So just so you know, the this segment of the building right here is about 200 feet away from you. So you're effectively
Oof.
160 off board. If you dash, you can move 60 in a turn.
yeah, it's not a lot still. Okay.
Your longbow,
Well, I mean,
your longbow can shoot pretty far.
yeah. But do I have sight of anyone other than what I just saw Sin dashing off?
There's a bunch of birds on the roof. You were told by the were ravens that they're under the control of the forest witches.
Oh man. I do want to. I do want to actually go ahead and dash to get at least somewhat of a better view. I can shoot at ravens later.
60-foot book.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So what's each square on this map?
These are
50?
5 feet on these.
Oh, these are just 5 feet.
Yeah, we're in combat
Okay.
mode here, so
But
Yeah.
we're pretending like I'm still 100 away because that's definitely not 100
Yeah.
squares.
yeah.
Okay.
But basically, it's pretty bright out comparatively to nightfall. But yeah, it's yeah. Oh, Amelie, you see Hero not saying anything, just start. Dun, 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 dun. Do you draw your weapons while you're doing that too? Right?
Yeah, my dual weapon. I got Shatter Spike and Vicious Longsword.
Ching, swords are out, and he's just and you're not sure why, because you didn't see it.
Nope.
I'm gonna kind of reduce my movement a little bit simply because of the fact that I was supposed to be 200 feet. I'll just stop here. This is kind of the position I wanted anyways.
Sure. Yeah, you're 100 feet off board is where we're at. So, I mean, again, technically, you're not technically on board as of yet, but if you're saying you're kind of coming in at an angle, I understand, and I will pull
Yeah.
you in on the board once you get there at that
Yep.
time. Should be turn 3 of running. All right. That said, that's where you'll be at turn 3 of running. So, Aveline, Hero's just going.
So, besides just seeing him booking it, is there anything else that I see of note?
Birds.
All right. Well, that seems odd to me, so I kind of want to go ahead and take cover somewhere.
Okay. Well, you know that when the signal was flagged, you would have kind of been instructed to move over towards the building, and that seems like what's happening. You just didn't see the signal.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. I'll just assume that's what happened, and I want to. Is there like a good place to kind of hide that's close to the building?
Well, no. So your current position on the map is not realistic. You're actually about 200 feet off board, and Hero is running across the gamut, like the gap between you and the actual map. So that's what's happening. You're kind of in a copse of trees that's off map. I don't have a full big map of that. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
my placement right there that you're seeing that I moved my guy to is solely to like give a
Indicate.
representation of where I'm wanting to go once
Gotcha.
I get on the map. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
I grab that.
So, okay. Are we currently in cover, or are we like out?
Yeah, you're out in the trees about 200 feet away from the building.
Okay. So if I want to go towards the building, I'm going to be out. I'm going to be like
Out in the open.
Okay.
In effectively a no man's land in between the trees and the building.
I don't like that.
If you have anything that shoots out into 200 feet, you might want to stay back. But again, it seems like the plan is to rush the building.
Okay, I'll go ahead and follow behind.
Da-
Then.
Dashing as well?
Yeah, let's just go full back.
Okay. She seems to keep pace with you pretty sufficiently and kind of catches up. If that's the case, I'm just going to place your token, or just place your token like right behind Michael's. All right. The door, you hear it open, and then out and around, coming down off the steps, you see the witch. She looks at you. You've got your crossbow trained and ready. Bink, bink, bink. If you want to take the shot.
Yeah. Shit. sorry, I shrunk my
No worries.
thing. Pew.
It hits her in the shoulder, but as it hits her, you see it kind of hit the skin like a bolt would hit a tree, like core. It seems to slam into what looked like flesh, but it hits it like it were bark, and you can see that it kind of sticks in her. She reaches over, grabs it, pulls it, and tosses it aside, and then says some strange words at you. There seems to be some sort of might or magic inside of the words that she's saying, but they don't seem to hold into you. And you kind of feel them kind of wash over you. And then she looks at you for a second. And when you look down at your hand and get ready to load the next crossbow, you realize that your hand is no longer the form that you choose. It's the form that you were born with. And you kind of... And she says, "You're a shape changer, but not a lycanthrope? Who are you?"
Your worst nightmare. No, I'm kidding.
If you say that, that's metal as hell, and you can have
That would've
inspiration.
been awesome.
I mean, I could.
You done goofed.
It seems she has forced you out of your chosen shape, though. She seems to have, like, changed your shape. And you're pretty sure that's why the ravens, the were-ravens, were kind of afraid of her. Shape twister.
You gotta have a picture of your true form sometime.
Oh yeah, I should do that.
It's not too different, though.
Yeah, I mostly just changed my coloring to match my daddy.
Nodder, you see the situation that I unfolded for Hero. You also see Hero and Aveline start to run. I'm assuming you're following.
The last to see it. How? What's the farthest I can go?
60 feet, if your
I'm
speed is...
assuming I end up just alongside them, right?
Actually, I don't know if the bear gets... Hold on. Barbarians get fast movement, I just don't remember when. 1 second.
I don't think I have that.
I mean, you might have it and not know.
Is it when there's picnic baskets
Yeah,
involved?
it's with there
A
are...
picnic basket.
If there are picnic
Hey, boo-boo.
baskets, then they...
The
Wine?
wine. It's a
Wine
big-
goes in picnic baskets.
Yeah.
Nice brie cheese, you know?
That's true. I could go get one of my 3 picnic baskets.
You know what? I also have one right here too.
Fast movement is at 5th level, so next level, sorry. To get your hopes up there. Okay, you book it. You 3 now kind of moving that distance. You do see a strange silhouette near the door, and it seems like they're kind of focused in the direction that Sen went, which Nodder and Hero, you saw Sen go that way, and Aveline, you did not see them go that way. All right, Alenia. Oh! Okay.
We're going this way.
Did they throw the signal? Sen, crossbow reloaded. Druid seeming prepared to change their pitch on what they're going to do with you next. What would you like to do to them?
I shoot at her.
Sounds good. Take the shot.
Yeah.
If you got inspiration, you could spend it. Anybody can, if you have inspiration.
I do
Oh, got it.
spend it.
Okay, so go ahead and roll damage. You'll be critting on this. So 12 plus 6 is 18. Ooh. Alright. You kind of fire the shot straight towards her heart. You watch as it impales a bit, and her kind of like drop forward with pain. As she kind of winces, you're hopeful that she'll continue falling and just be done. But as she kind of keels over, she lifts herself up and kind of feral look to her face. Movement?
I'm gonna go behind this wall. Scary lady.
Spooky.
Spooky. She made me change my hand. Wait, am I completely changed or just my hand?
Whole thing. Yeah.
I'm white.
You can change. You can change. You can change it back. You can change it back as a bonus action, I believe.
Uh,
I think
no,
it
I'll just blend into my surroundings.
is.
Just let your
Everything's
freak flag-
gray, and now I'm white and gray.
You're like, oh, I feel so at home here.
Mm.
Father, I miss you.
Daddy.
Hero, brushing up on the silhouette, you definitely see some weird motion in them, but you're, again, not certain what's going on there. If you're moving again, double dashing, this will put you, 120. There's going to be 80 feet left, I think, right? Yeah. So 120 downfield, 80 feet remaining. Adeline, same. Okay.
Gonna follow suit.
So at this moment, you are effectively from the figure that they seem to be moving towards. +1. You're about 155 feet away from them, and that's before you move. You'll be 95 feet away from them. It looks like at the end of this, because when you get to that last part of your movement, you'll actually end up like right there. Everybody.
What is the range of my longbow?
Longbow's range should be broken into two different characteristics. What that means is the first one is normal range, and then the last one is maximum range. So it's 150 for normal range, which you'll be in once you dash. You'll be at 120, plus the 15 or so thereof. And then the maximum range for it is 600. If you're ever firing at a target that's more than your standard range, but less than your maximum range, or equal to your maximum range, you have disadvantage for the attack roll.
Just for future references.
Oh, of course.
Probably happen more often. I'm still dashing like towards the.
Of course. Yeah, you're about 120 from that marker point that I set.
Yep.
For reference, I'm just for my reference, I'm going to effectively set you all where you will be once you get to the point where you're dashing onto the field.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. The druid, not even noticing that there's something going on behind her, as she kind of walks around the building to continue chasing, you see her draw a long knife, very similar to like a butcher's blade, kind of long and straight, yeah. As she's doing that with one hand, her other hand is kind of waving towards the vineyard, and you see a bunch of forms kind of pop out of like patches of the vineyard, and you can see that they're the blights, those twig blight creatures from the citadel, and they start kind of moving, scurrying towards you. They're definitely a ways off, but they are a pretty solid number of them. I'm going to just put these on the map for reference, not that they are this close to you. Again, this map is multi-tiered, which is why it's convoluted. But it looks like about 6 of them kind of gain ground and are now about 30 feet off map. So they're about 30 feet south of you. And then as she kind of looks to you, she will cast a spell, as verbal command was free and drawing the knife was as well. She will cast Entangle.
I am trapped.
Go ahead and make a strength saving throw. As you kind of stand there in the corner and are kind of like, waiting, you watch as the grass kind of uproots with like brambles, and the vines on the walls kind of pull down and kind of snap to you, kind of forming this 20-foot square in and around the corner you're in. So yeah, strength saving throw.
I am not very strong.
Okay. Does that beat her DC? It does. So the brambles kind of snap onto you, and you kind of are a bit angry and annoyed at everything that's happening here. You kind of pull yourself free of them really quick. The terrain that you're in now is difficult terrain because of all the brambles that have kind of grown up. but you are not entangled or restrained by the roots.
Cool.
You also hear what sounds like footfall coming up stone steps from inside of the building to your side, which means that something was in the cellar while you were in there.
Glad I didn't go down there.
All right. Next up is Nodder, dashing as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Run,
And
run, run.
Alenia will dash as well. So yeah, next turn you'll be moving onto the map. Is that right? Let me double check. 60 feet each turn. No, so the turn after next turn you'll be dashing onto the map. Sorry. So Alenia's done. Sen, you're up. Like I said, the squares you're in are difficult terrain, which means it takes you double movement to kind of move around. If you want to, let me let you know your options here. Be helpful as I can. You can dash towards her and around the building, which will be less difficult terrain for you to deal with. And if you do that, you can take the disengage action as a bonus action to avoid any attacks with that butcher's knife she's got, and kind of just get past her towards where your friends might be. You can also dash without disengaging around the building, possibly taking a shot off and going the opposite direction, away from your friends. There is a window in the tower that's just near you. It is leaded glass, so you'd have to kind of roll to break through it, but you could try and jump in. Yeah, I think that's it. Unless you have the ability to fly or climb up walls like Spider-Man.
Suddenly. No. I am gonna run back towards my friends
Okay.
of 3 whole days.
So the first movement is going to take you 10 feet of movement, and then if you disengage and dash, you'll be moving a total of 60. So we're looking at 50 feet. You'll be moving to here.
Oh, I can move all the way there? Cool.
If you do nothing but book it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna book it.
All right.
Yelling.
As you run through past the window, it's almost like an exact duplicate, only in reverse of what happened last time. You see another woman. This one, the one that you were fighting, kind of brown, kind of mottled hair. This one kind of has red, slightly straight hair with what appears to be like a handkerchief kind of done up in it. And she also is wearing kind of hides as well. This one seems to have an entourage of the twig blights that has come up from the cellar with her.
Great.
These twig blights look different than the standard fare. They almost look a bit more humanoid. So whereas a twig blight is like normally just like a shrub with like spiky bits, these ones look like people with like needle hands.
Like Groot, but scary.
Yeah, with like needle hands. Yeah, they're pretty creepy. All right, Hero. You see
Emphasis on needle hands.
Needle.
Did I mention the needle hands?
Okay.
Yeah. Hero. So this one you would be where you're currently located is where you'll be next turn. So you're technically going to be, if you dash, you will be 20 feet off board, and then this movement here is a single. This would be that's. Let me get you right. That's if you dashed on the last turn, which will be next turn. This is where you'd be. But if you don't want to dash, you just want to move, you'll be 50 feet off board, and you could have your bow drawn, and then you just effectively subtract 50 from your range for purposes of shooting, and you could fire out to, I'd say, right about here, if you wanted. This turn.
Yeah, I do actually want to go ahead and do that.
We'll say as you were overlapping that in your head, last turn you put the swords away, this turn you're drawing the bow.
Yeah, I had thought about like saying that, but we'd already
worries.
kind of moved on. I didn't want to take it back. But
No worries.
and I do have 8 arrows plus 1.
Okay. Are you going to use a +1 arrow for this shot?
Yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm going to be shooting on the witch.
Okay. Take the shot.
The witch lady.
Shot.
What's the difference between... Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay.
You'll make a longbow attack. We'll add 1 to the. Ooh.
Oh God.
Do you have inspiration? Does anybody have
Oh.
inspiration?
I
Do I?
spent mine. Does he shoot me?
David, do you still have
I
inspiration?
do. I do. I never
do.
use my inspiration.
Okay.
Put those ideas out into the pool.
He got credit for one of my puns
I
earlier.
had it and never checked it.
Okay.
On my
Yeah,
phone,
I
but
remember
I've never
giving.
used inspiration.
I remember giving pretty much everyone inspiration at least
Yeah.
once. So yeah, go ahead. You can spend it this time. But now you don't have it for sure.
Yep. I unchecked. It's
Okay.
for sure unchecked now.
16 will hit the witch. 17 rather will hit the witch hit on the dot. Well, just above the dot. So go ahead and roll damage for the longbow shot, and you'll add 1 to that result.
So 8.
All right. As you're kind of looking over your shoulder, Sen, and then kind of looking forward, you see Hero kind of sheathing his swords, pull the bow off his back. Arrow kind of snaps over top of you. You hear the whistle of it, whoosh, and then you turn over your shoulder again. And you watch the witch get hit, and kind of as she falls to the ground. The scream is
My
very.
hero.
So
Hero.
I'm just gonna say, I knew where that critical miss was gonna head.
Yeah.
It was not gonna be good for you, Sen.
I know. That's why I was
right
like,
in the chest.
wait, this is how I die.
That would, yeah, not to the actual witch or the ravens or anything, to your friend that you were running towards for protection. And I shoot you in the head.
Your luck in here, hero.
They're straight into your eyes.
There we go.
That would be bad.
So, Aveline, at this stage, if you want to dash, you will basically be on track to be where we were discussing before. If you do not want to dash, then you will be at the same point Hero's at. But you'll be 150 feet from the witch that just got shot. If
I'm
that's...
legitimately so confused where the witch.
I apologize. The nature of the way that you guys entered this conflict was separate, so that's not typically how it goes.
Sorry.
Right now, where you're currently showing on the map is incorrect. You are actually 120 feet off board. So if you were to, you're 120 feet off from where you're at. If you were to dash this turn and next turn, that's where you will be at the end of next turn. That's
That sucks.
that's the best way I could mathematically do it, and unfortunately, it's not visually the most pleasing.
No, I mean we're really far away.
You
We're
were
200
supposed
feet.
you were supposed to get the secret signal and then rush over under no observance and be over here helping instead of a accidental raising of the alarm and entangling roots and crossbow shots. Sen looks strange. Definitely different than you've seen Sen. They look
Oh, maybe I was trying to shoot her because I thought she was the enemy.
taking the inspiration back, reverse it. No, it I would say at this distance, and again, if this doesn't sound accurate, Elizabeth, please correct me, but I would say at this distance, it looks like she's like pale white, like she's seen a ghost. Like she's also kind of got a look of scared look on they've got a scared look on their face, so that it probably looks like they're just kind of petrified scared. More than anything else at this distance.
But also looks like a ghost.
Oh, right, yes.
Remember, all white.
Yeah, and I believe the eyes are
Oh.
solid too, are they not, for a changeling?
Uh,
Did we want to go with the full
Thanks.
doppelganger, close look, or did you...
no.
Do we steer away from that?
That would have been really cool, but I have plans for that for a future character.
Sure. Okay, well then, yeah, it would just be kind of a more pale, ghostly white version of the Sen that you're familiar with.
All right, this whole trip has been nothing but confusing.
Just continue running. Okay.
White eyes.
Keep
White
on-
eyes. White everything.
I'm not gonna question it yet.
Rushing out of the house after you with this weapon that is being wielded by this individual appears to be kind of like a long stiletto blade. She steps out behind you, out of the building, and it seems like she has her entourage rushing out behind her as well. She is going to stab you. Oh my god, this cat. I can't read it if you're in the way.
But he's cute.
Wants to be a star.
Read the cat.
He's pretty cute. She's going to stab you with the blade of this
Me
dagger.
or Sen?
Sen is the only target I have right now.
Okay, I was gonna say, what the hell? This is even more confusing. Okay.
I
How I die.
I miss. So you kind of turn over, look at your shoulder. You see the witch get shot in the chest by the magic arrow, fall to the ground with a loud scream. Then you watch another witch come out of the window, which you were expecting. I mean, you saw them come out with a knife, and as they come at you, you kind of narrowly evade the blade. The blade, you didn't see it with the other witch, but this one, now that it's kind of up close and personal, you can see it. And I'm making a bunch of hand gestures that you can't even see. But
You just saw black fur.
Love that cat.
Yeah,
Look how cute.
get your white tummy
You
out
got
of
a
here.
vanilla tummy.
It's so soft, but the
Cookies
blade
and cream.
the blade seems to be kind of glowing with kind of this pale, sickly green light. All right.
Cool.
Whoosh, miss, and then the weird creatures follow after. They don't make it up to you, but you can see them now more in their full form. They look like humans that are just made out of vines with needle hands.
Needle hands.
All
Where'd you get your nails done?
And then the ones that were called out from the vineyard kind of rush over in that direction. They don't seem to take any other commands or anything, so they all start kind of rushing over the dead witch, and it looks like they're ripping her apart.
Like that cool.
All right,
Great.
Nodder.
I'm running full blast. As far as I can go.
All right, so you're on
Giving
track.
a nod to Hero's arrow because I see him shoot it as I'm passing by.
So you're on track to be at the location next turn. Okay, cool. So then Alenia will advance as well, and then Sen, you are up. So again, this will be next turn that they'll be there. I'm gonna pull Alenia back to here because I know what I'm going to do with her next turn. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. So basically same position as Hero. Hero dashes. Got it. Okay. Math aside, Sen, you're up. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of them. And the miniatures where they're at are not where they currently are on the right side of you. So don't think there's any sucker coming
Just
from...
the big boys.
Not even them.
Oh, the big boys are also not
Yeah.
close.
They're all... The closest one to you is
witch.
Aveline and Nodder. Oh, sorry. You're looking at the bad guys. You're looking the right direction.
Yeah, sorry.
Good deal. Everything to the left of you is where it's supposed to be. Everything to the
Okay.
right of you is messed up.
It's in the future.
Gotcha.
Yep.
You're
I
seeing the
believe
future.
technically I'm supposed to be the person who is the closest, right?
Incorrect.
'Cause I
you
dashed out first.
No, because you stopped dashing in the middle, pulled out the bow, and fired. So
Oh, okay. So everyone's already passed me at this point.
Right.
Okay,
They're
cool.
all about 30 feet ahead of you.
Gotcha. Perfect.
So can I drop my crossbow and pull out
The
my
rapier.
rapier
You bet.
to try and kill this? Okay. Gonna roll for that rapier. Come on, big money. 18, not
Hits.
the worst.
That's a hit.
Oh, great.
Go ahead and click the damage for me.
Oh, right.
No worries.
6.
So, having fought the last witch and seeing that this one seems to have the same kind of strange skin, barky kind of skin, you kind of look at her for a second as she's kind of wielding the blade. You kind of bring your weapon down and kind of catch her on the wrist, which surprises her, then flash the blade inwards towards her armpit and snap it out really quick and see a small trail of blood kind of follow out, and you're kind of like, good. There is armor kind of mentality here. It's not just the whole body covered with armor. And then you want to disengage and back away, or are you standing your ground?
I'm gonna.
If you disengage and back away, the reason why I say it's a good idea is because the vine blights won't be able to engage you.
Right.
It'll just be you and this druid.
Yeah, I'm gonna back away a bit.
Okay.
How far?
You should go
Can
full bit 30 feet out, so you'd be here.
Here?
Right here.
Oh, all the way out here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, and then again for Stephanie and David, those markers where you're currently located, like we've said, that's the future, not now. So I'm gonna just say that's if you dash, that's where you go. If you don't dash, this is, since we're kind of moving further over to the right than I anticipated. If you were to stop at a 30-foot, just a normal 30-foot movement, that's where you'd be instead. Okay, Hero, if you dash, this is where you'll be on the map, and we're no longer off map for you. You are on the map on that square. If you don't dash, you'll be 30 feet out from that position, and you can take a shot.
Yeah, I'm going to not dash. I'm going to run the 30 feet and take another shot at the witch again.
All right. The second witch. +1 arrow or no?
Yep, +1.
Okay.
I'm checking that off, and there we are with a crit, 26.
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
It's just beams falling from the sky.
All right.
10 + 7, which is actually +1, so
18.
18.
Yep. So you see Sen's in a bit of a mess here, and kind of pull the second magic arrow. The elvish arrow takes flight, whistling past Sen once again, and slams into the chest of this witch. She kind of curls forward and kind of growls angrily. You see her grab the shaft of the arrow and snap it in two, kind of look over towards the dragonborn, and then this kind of look of terror kind of rises on her face as she seems to be now recognizing that she's not. She just seems afraid of you. You're not sure why. But that's the truth of it. So, Aveline, if you dash, then you will be in front of Sen. Here. If you just move, you'll be here, and you can throw a spell.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get. Well, actually, I will get in front of her.
Okay, so you are dashing.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
Yeah.
So go wherever you'd like within this range, yeah. Rushes in between you and the witch.
Thank you.
The druid kind of looking at the dragon with like a look of absolute just confusion, and then looking to the interloper that's come in between. She kind of grimaces, but seeing the situation as it stands and realizing that this here is a fight, she is going to continue to engage. She will cast. Yeah, she's going to kind of reach off to the side with her hand. It becomes kind of bright in her hand for a second, and then engulfed in flame. It seems that she's holding a mote of fire in her hand. She hurls it at. It looks like her intention was Sen, but her target is in truth Aveline. And 15 to hit. Does that hit, Aveline? AC
I don't-
is.
I don't see your roll or what's going on.
Oh, you won't see my rolls. I hide those. I'm a coward. But what's your armor class?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I'm a coward.
I'm
For sure.
16.
16? Okay, so this mote of fire comes up. You kind of raise your hand and kind of gesture with it. A small mote of your own fire kind of detonates out and catches it, kind of dispersing it. Wizard fights. She's like, she kind of sees that, looks back to the dragon, looks to you again. She looks like she's in terror, and she backs behind her blights. As she does so, they rush forward. And then she will issue a command to the twig blights. These ones are dashing, by the way. She will issue a command to her twig blights to stop tearing her friend apart.
Well, she does. So.
Oh yeah. As they kind of
Pain.
as they kind of peel away from her, if you've ever seen Troll 2, it's kind of like
I thought it was doing.
it's kind of like the viscera, kind of is kind of strangely green and weird, and the druid's been kind of ripped apart. But yeah, these vine blights kind of move around you and kind of encircle you, but they have dashed kind of like ninja style to get around you. Nodder, if you dash, you can be adjacent to them. If you just normal move, where you're currently showing on the map is where you are at.
I was planning to dash next to them, but they're in my way now.
Well, yeah, you can dash up to them. If you've got a bonus action you could use it. I don't know how bear hug works.
I'm gonna try and bear hug.
That's right, it's a bonus action to do it. Okay, cool. Do you want to go north of Sen or right behind Sen? Oh, you already did it. So you're going up and around. Okay. Okay, if that's the case, I will say moving past the first line, one of them will actually make an attack against you as you rush past them.
Oh no! I should have gone behind Ben. Actually,
It's okay. It's okay.
You done goofed.
nah. I want.
This whole
Alright.
game today.
As you kind of come in close to this one, and there seems to be an offensive against them, the thing you notice about all of them is they all kind of like crouch inwards like this and kind of pull their hands towards them, and their necks kind of spike out. It's kind of cool. And this one will... 15 misses your armor class, right?
Yeah.
Takes a long stroke across the air with their clawed hand and misses. And then you kind of move around and get in position. You only take the opportunity attack from the first one of the line because you're still technically threatening the one that you're adjacent to. Okay, so which one do you want to attack? The one directly south of you or the one to the right of the map?
The one on the right.
Oh, okay, so yeah, and then Bear
Right.
Hug will be a bite attack.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but whatever. What we get?
Use up a bear hug. Wait.
Nope. So as you're kind of biting inwards, you see the spines kind of like extend a bit more, which kind of you're reaching in and you kind of hesitantly kind of pull back, realizing that might be a little bit too much for you to kind of get your arms around.
Hey.
So I've never hugged a porcupine, but I don't ever want to try. All right. Alenia only moves 30 feet this turn and moves there. She will cast a spell. Oh man, I had a plan before and I forgot it.
Oops. Oops.
Whoopsie.
It happens. What are you gonna do? She is going to cast Bless on Sen, Aveline, and Nodder for 1 minute. As long as she's concentrating on it, anytime you throw an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, roll an extra d4 and add it to the result. And as a reaction, she's going to make Nodder have the opportunity for Voice of Authority. So you can spend your reaction at this point to make another melee attack.
Ooh. Do I have my... do I have to equip my stuff? Is it safe to assume?
Well, you just darted across the lawn. I'm pretty sure at some point you had weapons.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was...
I let Michael switch weapons like twice in. So yeah, you have your axe and your shield. You weren't just running like I'll do it when I get there.
Cool. Then I'm using tree bar one-handed
Okay.
on the one to my left or right.
Mm-hmm. All right, 14 hits, and it does an extra 2 points versus a plant. So you watch as tree bar is kind of revealed from the shield and kind of pulled out and slammed inwards. This thing kind of takes it to the chest, and you watch as this kind of green light kind of pulses from the axe head and kind of causes the thing to detonate and smear out onto the ground.
That's gross.
As it does so, you watch as the other ones kind of, all of their spines shoot out, and they seem to take this kind of like, kind of look in fear of the axe.
The
All right.
axe holds all power.
Trees do not mess with tree bar. So Sen, it definitely looks like a much shinier day.
I'm not gonna die. Maybe.
The witch who was backing away, she's very wounded. She's near the door, but she's beyond all these blights as well. You could probably disengage and flip over the lead one if you wanted to try and engage that one, but you would need to have some sort of ranged weapon to do that with.
Me, I already threw down my crossbow.
It's right near where you would need to flip to get to it. So if you wanted to, you could soldier roll over it and get it. I'd allow that. That'd be kind of cool. If you have a dagger, that also works.
Oh, I do have a dagger.
Either way, if that's what you want to do, your bonus action would be to disengage, and you'd move to here, and then you could throw or shoot at her.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So for descriptive, you kind of
So
watch as Aveline kind of pops, fire, watches Bear start slashing stuff. You kind of move over to one of the blights and kind of kick near its side as it's kind of focused on Nodder and its weird defense. Leap over Aveline, kind of placing a hand on her shoulder, cartwheeling over, top her and the Vine Blight, landing, rolling onto the ground, picking up your crossbow, and then kind of rushing forward with it pointed at this witch whose face is now shit. And take the shot.
Stop, bitch. Take this dagger.
Does anybody have inspiration?
Oh no.
Well,
I am inspired by by Sen's actions.
well, hold on. I'm gonna be fair. I technically said your crossbow. So if you want to go ahead and throw that attack roll instead, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
The same.
just.
Okay. You
Really
look.
cool action.
You look at her. You see the fear of death just like fall on her face. You fire the crossbow and it hits the wall next to her, and she kind of closes her eyes and winces, and then opens her eyes and looks at the crossbow bolt, and then looks at you and goes, "Huh?" Like she's not sure if
Put
you.
all of my focus on the acrobatics.
It was dope. Hero. So if you move just 30 feet this turn, you will be at the position that you are currently going to be in. No. Sorry, you incorrect. If you dash, you will be in the position that you're currently showing. If you move 30 feet, nope. Sorry.
No. Yes. No.
If you move 30 feet, you'll be adjacent to Elenia. If you dash, you can dash from that current position 30 feet onto the board if you'd like.
Problem is, I don't think I have any kind of bonus actions that I'd be willing to use
What I would
in order
suggest
to do anything.
in your current artillery stance is to move adjacent to Elenia where you're currently showing on the map. Fire one last shot, probably not the +1 arrow, but just a normal arrow, at one of the Vine Blights. And then as your item interaction, put away the bow this turn. And then during your next turn, whoosh, and move in.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the best option, honestly.
Sounds good.
Nothing that I want to use right now on these guys,
It looks like they're falling pretty quick.
bonus-wise. So I'm going to be going down a regular arrow. I'm going to be shooting at the one that was directly to the right of the one that Nodder just killed.
Gotcha.
I guess I could have just clicked on it instead.
No worries.
Yeah, so I moved 23. I'm sure that hits.
Yes. Damage
10.
Alright. You fire the arrow, it kind of slams into the back of the thing and kind of impales outwards. You're not sure whether it's a killing blow because you are shooting at a plant, but then you kind of watch it kind of fall to the side. It definitely wasn't as dramatic effect as Tree Bar's slaying of it, but it seems to have done the job. Alright. Aveline, surrounded by Vine Blights, or Needle Blights rather. What would you like to do?
Is it not a valid action for me to do like a sweeping firebolt?
No. So yeah, Firebolt's a single target.
Oh,
If you have the spell Burning Hands, then yes, it's totally valid.
I don't know. Like 99%. Yeah.
You do not. Definitely one to look out for in the future. I don't know if it's one that artificers can take, but it's a pretty cool spell. It's basically a shotgun blast of 3d6 fire damage.
That's cool.
Cone 15 feet, so it can get like 6 people if you angle it right. Definitely a hallway clearer.
A little bit.
Okay. Actually, I haven't used this one yet. I'm gonna do Thunder Wave.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna be a cool kid and help you here. So, what you want to do is you want to back away. You want to get all 3 of them, right?
Yeah, as many as possible. Yep.
Okay, so you'll back away into this space here, and this will provoke opportunity attacks against you. But you have a pretty decent armor class. 16 is not bad.
I got Sentinel.
And Nodder has Sentinel, so he'll at least block one of them. The other one, not so much. The one to the south attacks, and 15 misses again. The one to the west attacks. Now, can you do me a favor and click on the speech bubble next to Sentinel for me real quick, David?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so Sentinel says, when a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, you can use your reaction to make a melee attack against them. So you interrupt them. So as it is attacking her, you're attacking it. So go ahead and make your attack first.
I'm not a fan. Still your Mountain Dew.
So as you back away, you're like, hesitant to that one. And then you watch as this green pulse kind of slashes in like a blade-like shape as the axe kind of emanates this anti-plant burst. And it causes the creature to get lopped in half. Alright, then Thunderwave on the other 2. Go ahead and click that spell for me, and I'll go ahead and throw some saving throws, Constitution saving throws. Pretty sure both of those did not make it. Yep, DC 14, 10 damage. Perfect on the nose. So you kind of rush back, and I'm assuming, because most people who do Thunderwave is a clap, unless you have a different somatic way you want to do it, but usually it's
Like, yeah.
and then yeah, because that's what Belak did to you guys. Oh, so you cause the Thunderwave to kind of burst out from your palms as they slap together, and you watch as the 2 remaining needle blights, the needles start first. You see them kind of just shake apart, and then watch as their vine bodies kind of like disincorporate and kind of fall to the ground. Just bundles of meaty vines. Dead.
Yeah.
All right. So just a real quick note, Sen. Speaking is a free action. So, I mean, if you want to play off that horrible shot in any way, just a possible role playing opportunity for you there.
Take that as a warning.
Surrender now or prepare to fight. That wasn't actually intended as a reference to the hair color. Jesse's hair is red, isn't it? Am I wrong?
My
It's
hair's
red.
not. My hair's
It
not
is
red right now. It's
very
white.
red.
Sorry.
Well, yes.
Oh.
I as a person am red hair, but Finn
Not right now.
has white hair right now.
Fair.
I'm actually editing the
Oh,
too,
very cool.
because I just have to
Have
put
it.
a mask layer over.
If there's nothing there, the druid will look to you in kind of an angered state and yell a command, and then yell a second command as her action. And you watch as from the roof you see a bunch of ravens descend down and encircle Sen.
Sweet.
Oh, no.
They had to dash to get to you, but
This
they.
is a great unkindness.
It's a pretty good pun. I don't think it's worth inspiration, but it's pretty good.
No, I just wanted to say it.
And then you watch as the twig blights, the ones that you're more used to seeing, Nodder, kind of move around the witch at the door. I would say you would also hear a laughter on the rooftop. And Hero and Elenia both can see that at the very top portion of the building, up on the roof, kind of in the tower segment there's another witch kind of standing there looking down, and standing kind of over top her is a mass of vines, much bigger than the other blights that you've seen so far.
Yay.
All right. Nodder, you're up. All these
How big is each of these squares?
5 feet.
Oh, okay. So we're back. Okay.
Back to combat.
1, 2, 3. If I pass this guy, I take opportunity. Yeah.
Everything around you's dead. Oh, you're talking about there. Yeah, you'll take
Yeah.
one from the little guy. Swing and a miss.
I'll do it. All right. I take the one south of me.
Oh, these are birds. Sorry, they. I don't think they attack opportunity. That's not how swarms work. I'm trying to open one. Hold on. Thank goodness. Okay, yeah, they can make opportunity attacks still. They miss though.
All right. I rage.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot last time. Spend that. Whew.
And you were attacking one of the swarms.
Yeah, the one below the south of me.
Go for it.
How do I add rage to this, or is it automatically added?
There should be a small little indicator underneath the damages, and it says rage, and you can click it on and off. There's like a click check mark.
Oh. Okay.
It'll add 2 to the damage. But did you say you were attacking recklessly? I didn't catch that part. Did you?
I didn't say that. No, I didn't.
Okay. So 16 will hit my swarm for 10 plus 2, 12 damage. And what you notice is it's not as efficient as you were expecting. You see a big blob of feathers and beaks, and you swing into it expecting to just like cleave a big mess of it, and you probably got about like half of what you were anticipating. Like it's resistant to the type of damage you're throwing at it.
Oh no.
So
As if it's resistant.
as if it's resistant, or it's resistant. Is it resistant? It's resistant. Elenia.
Resistance it?
Is it futile?
Is it? I don't know.
Does resistance become it?
Elenia will. I think she's got. Yeah. And she will cast Inflict Wounds on this mass of ravens. She hits. She's casting this at 2nd level. So you watch as she reaches into the mass of ravens, and you see her hand kind of pulse with this dark energy. The mists around her kind of sweep into her hand, and she seems to be disconcerted by that for a second. She says a strange prayer. It's basically, even in darkness, light can be brought forth. And then as she says that, like the mist kind of sweep in, and she seems to be confused, and then pulse, and you watch as all the ravens kind of fall to the ground, each one of them kind of like slowly discorporating, as if their forms are being kind of necrotically torn asunder.
Ugh.
I was going for that.
Was that supposed to happen?
She kind of
Cinematic.
looks about for a second, and then kind of clenches her fist, reaching down for her mace, and gives Sen a look like not the time for a conversation, but she definitely seems to be answering with a
Fair.
nope. All right. Sen, there are a bunch of birds in front of you. There are a bunch of birds to the north of you. You could definitely kind of sweep out and around if you want to continue to tango with the witch. You are unaware of the witch above you, but you do see Alenia kind of looking up. You won't be able to see her from your current vantage point, though.
I mean, it does take two to tango. Let's.
All right. Disengage, dart for the witch.
Yeah. And
All right.
let's go at her with
The rapier.
the rapier. Yeah.
Okay. Having picked up the light crossbow and sheath the rapier in the last turn, you could definitely do so here. Pulling as you're holding the light crossbow in one hand and kind of pulling the rapier out, stabbing. So yeah, you can move around the ravens to here with a disengage action as a bonus action, and then make an attack.
Great. 14.
Bounces against her bark armor.
I tried.
All right.
At least I hit something
As
other than a
Thirsty
wall.
for blood.
as the foil kind of connects with the bark and kind of bends a bit as you kind of lance in and kind of retract, you see her kind of lean into the blade as well and kind of looking at you. And she says, "Why did you miss?" Hero. Your position on the map is where you are currently. You do not have any weapons drawn, so free game on that. And speed-wise, it seems like they moved the fight further away from you again. So it's going to be a dash to get to anything.
Another dash.
You can pull your bow out again if you want to move 30 and shoot something. But if you want to dash, you could get... you could probably... Yeah, you could get adjacent to Sen if you wanted to. But you'll take some opportunity attacks. Or you can get into the bird town and we can reenact birds. Birdemic.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
It was.
Wonderful. Birds was a great movie. Birdemic was a movie, I guess, technically.
Birdemic was a beautiful
Cinematic
feat
masterpiece.
of...
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Better than everything.
Sure, why not?
I do cool stuff, but I also don't want to use things that require a rest afterwards.
Sure.
I guess I'll just do a boring dash.
Going into birds or going towards the witch?
10, 15, 20. I think I can position myself about right there.
Okay. So no opportunity attacks. Birds, you don't run past any birds or anything crazy.
Correct. But I also do nothing, so...
Yeah. Aveline. Yeah, all the blights are dead next to you. You could go in and start smacking on some birds. But
Yes, indeed, that's what I'm going to do.
pathway-wise, there's really not much to do. I know the map, you would think there's more below, but that's literally where the vineyard starts, if you remember how I described Sen rushing up. So it is almost like there's a wall to the south of you as well.
So these tokens that I'm here next to, I can't quite see what those are. Are those the birds, or
Yes.
are the ones... Okay, then what are these guys over here?
And those ones over there are the blights that are next to the witch. The little ones that you're used to seeing.
Oh, okay.
And then,
I was...
yeah, that's the witch there.
Which?
Which indeed.
Oh.
I think I really enjoyed the Thunder Wave, so I want to try that again.
Okay. So, again, as a pro tip on the lead up, someone's throwing a bunch of lightning bolts onto the map for some reason.
Whoops, I couldn't get it to come off.
I was like, what is this?
It's okay. No worries. I got you. But pro tip, if you want to get the most bang for your buck, you are going to either target one and not attack your friends, or you can target both and attack either Nodder or Hero. You can go either way. Nodder is the more physically constitutional and probably the most likely to wave off a Thunder Wave. So if you were to do that, you'd want to be where you just were a second ago.
Oh, okay.
You'd want to be here. That way the burst would go out and against the wall.
Oh, okay. So it's like a
It's like a
cone.
It's like a
or
cube.
A cube. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
But the cube has to be touching you at some point.
Oh, I see. And then it goes like force. Like
Yeah, it pulses out from that in that square. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, effectively, you can attack both Raven Packs and Nodder. Or if you were to go north of that, you could technically go both Raven Packs and Hero. But, like I was saying, the one who's most likely to avoid said Thunder Wave is our boy Bear Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
I'm gonna go for that.
Okay. So then I need Nodder, go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw, and these packs will make similar. Let me double check something here.
Ooh. Nodder. Dang.
Yeah, Nodder. So you're gonna take those rolled out loud, didn't they?
Hello.
Oh, quick, write them down.
You can actually figure out the math to see what their Constitution is based off of that.
Oh,
And then
seriously?
intrinsically work backwards to see what their... Yeah, but they just crit and got a 19, so...
I'm too dumb, so...
it's a -1 on the con. They'll take half as well. But because they are swarms, they are actually... blah, 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 words. The Thunder Wave seems to be kind of, like, not as strong as you've made them before. It does seem to have more of effect on the Ravens than on Nodder for some reason. Probably because of the area effect versus a swarm. Alright, Aveline, that's it for you. The Druid, looking at Sen and obviously annoyed.
Wait, do I take damage?
Oh yeah, you take 4 thunder damage.
Hold on.
The Druid will stab at Sen. 18 to hit Sen. Hit.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll,
15, so.
you'll take 2 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm not very good at Constitution.
It's good enough.
Yay.
So you look at your arm as she kind of stabs into your arm with the stiletto knife that she's had, kind of glowing green, and you watch as the green energy kind of exits the knife, kind of like being poured out of it into your limb. You kind of retract away, and as you do so, you look to your arm and you see these small little vines start to grow in your arm, and you kind of look at it and kind of like focus your fist and kind of feel the pain, kind of flex it, and you watch as this small little seed kind of sprouts out of the wound and pops out as you kind of flex your muscle, and it seems to pull the little roots out with it.
Just
Growing a
imagine that.
tree in me?
She was trying to grow a tree in you. Nodder. Swarms are all right here. Oh, sorry, hold on. Blights.
I don't do drugs.
Don't let me forget to kill you with all these little guys.
Oh, I don't like it.
They will move around to kind of swarm you. Some of them still have parts of the other druid lady on them.
Any of them have to pass me?
No. They're
Damn.
able to move right around you. No problem. All of them will make attacks, so let's see how this goes. You said your AC was 15, right? 10.
Yes, sorry.
Miss, hit, miss. So you'll take a total of, added together, 6 points of damage.
Yay! I'm halfway dead.
No weird treeness here, though. Okay, so Nodder, sorry, without skipping your turn, I did click past you, but it is your up. There is a blight behind you, and there's a swarm of ravens below, or to the south and to the west, or east of you.
I'm gonna attack the blight. right next to me.
Yeah. So, not really having been paying attention to the big bear wielding the bane of their existence, you spin around with the axe and kind of whirl it over the shield and slam right into this thing. You watch as it just splats down onto the ground, sap kind of splattering onto the ground, and you watch as the other twig blades just kind of start shaking and backing away from you, like.
Good. Get away.
And you watch as the witch kind of looks to you like, oh, like this keeps on stacking against her. Like this is literally her worst day, and then her next worst day, and then her very worst day. And there was this one point where there was like a highlight where she was like, "I'm dead, aren't I? Oh, I'm not. Why did you miss?" Speaking of not missing, Alenia will.
Wait, she wants to die?
No. She was just certain that she was going to die because of the sheer awesomeness that was present, and then it didn't happen, so she was confused.
So we like to toy with the frame.
Yeah, we're just playing with you.
So Alenia will cast Healing Word at this distance on Sen. And she'll cast it at first level for 4 hit points of healing. Okay? As she heals you, Sen, you can spend your reaction, because she's utilizing Voice of Authority, to use a reaction to attack. You can make an attack against anyone in your range. So if you wanted to stab the witch again, maybe hit this time.
Yes.
You could if you wanted to.
Stab.
Okay.
Stab. I tried.
I feel
I
so
really
bad.
did.
I feel so bad for you because you have some of the biggest modifiers in the group, and like.
It's okay. I'm fine.
The dice hate you. Hey, guess what? It's your turn. You can try again.
Yay! Let's actually stab them this time.
Go ahead. So those watching, she just crit.
I missed and I missed and I missed and I hit.
All right. So,
8+1.
how do you imagine this playing out? Or do you want me to describe how I think it would go? Your call. I mean, again, I prefer your input, though.
Tricked ya.
Why?
I don't know.
You kind of swing the blade, and she kind of ducks down, and then Sen kind of brings the blade up and then stabs it into, like, the side, and kind of a slow wound, a slow dying wound, kind of drops the witch down. And it seems like, for those watching on the outside, this wasn't like a remarkable flourish of blades. This is not something Hero would be doing with the spinning, whirling blades. This looks like a person who was kind of just trying to get into an opening and finally found it. And you watch as the witch finally realizes, oh, I wasn't outmatched. I was just underplanned. Oh, falls to the ground, dead.
We just look really cool, guys.
You fell for my trap card. You can technically move and still take a bonus action if you'd like.
I don't even know where I'd want to move. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Well, the one next to me is dead.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mark that one. Thank you.
Well, I'm almost surrounded.
You could disengage and eject yourself from the combat this way.
Yeah.
Or you could go into the building.
Yeah. I'm gonna go inside.
I can't say that's a smart idea, but I mean, it's not bad. Okay, you see the stairs. There definitely looks like there's a bit of sappy kind of steps that have kind of come up from there. And you do see that the door to the north is opened. It seems to open into a much bigger space. The very first thing you can see, it looks like a massive barrel, basically, or vat, made out of wood, which might be, a vat that has wine in it. But yeah, that's what you would see. Okay, Hero, make me a perception check for free, real quick.
Perception check, eh?
Yeah.
22.
Good enough. So you would see what appears to be another of the witches moving very quickly during that whole conflict from this back end of the building into the vineyards. It doesn't seem to be moving of their own motor power. It seems that they are currently riding a mass of tendrily vines, very similar to the blights, but much bigger. As you see that, though, you notice that that vine thing and the witch that's riding it appear to be the ones that were on the roof.
Mm.
And they seem to be escaping to the south of the vineyard, moving at a very rapid pace. I would say this turn would be the only turn you'd have them in bow shot, and it would still be a long shot at that. But then there's also these blades right here in front of you for you to cut down with swords.
That's true. Swords. All the swords. Man, it is tempting to go for though. I'm sure there's like Yeah, I'm just going to
Cut.
attack with swords.
Whooshing, whooshing. Vicious and Shatter Spike.
Yep, I'm just gonna move in here. I'm gonna be attacking the top left blight.
Mm-hmm.
And we will do that with Shatter Spike first. Where is it? There it is.
Hit.
16. 12.
Okay. Quick spin of the blade. You watch as it splits in half. This is a very familiar practice for you. Bringing around the vicious longsword in a downwards cut towards the next one or towards the ravens.
It's gonna be the other blight for
Okay.
now. Just longsword. Ooh, that's only a 9.
9 misses. So it kind of ducks below the blade and seems to be kind of recoiling back from the side of Treebar. Alright, Aveline, still a bunch of ravens. Again, they do seem to be susceptible to the Thunder Wave. It's just that it doesn't seem the last one was very strong magically. If you kind of focus a little bit harder, aka roll better dice, it might do better this go around.
I'll just roll better. I mean,
I believe in you. I've always have.
just there we go.
All right, throw it. Yeah, it's a bit better. Okay, so Nodder, unfortunately, you are still stuck in the. Actually, with the way that hero is moved, Aveline, just again helping you with the targeting. If you move up to this top corner and wave it out this way, you won't hit either hero or Nodder. Unless you want to hit Nodder, I mean that's entirely up to you.
Put your burn in my butt.
No, I guess
Whoa.
I just don't really.
Don't really
would
care.
I be only getting the one crow if I get up there? Or
No, I mean the roll will be the same. It's just that Nodder will have to make a roll to see if he saves against the damage, or not.
no, I guess I just don't understand what the cues actually.
Sure. Let me get you here. Hold on a second. Assets, spell templates, first level. I don't have one. Hold on a second here. Transmogrifier. Other game is Saga. Loading. Bear with me here. Yeah, I meant to put templates into all the template folders, and I never did it. I am a bad dungeon master.
How dare thee.
It's a fair statement. I apologize for my failures.
There are failures and shortcomings.
I guess we'll forgive you.
Let me just draw it. I don't want to try. Doesn't seem to be working. So, Thunderwave, if you click on the eye next to it, should give you a description. What does it say that the area of effect for Thunderwave is.
Is there a?
No,
So there's not an actual like, because it's got like bolded words. There's like range and target.
sure. No, it should be in the description for Thunderwave or the range 15-foot cube. That's where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you. So basically, what that means is a cube that's 3 by 3 that's touching you in some way. So it has to not include you in it. So effectively, it would be these 3 squares here, kind of out from you, and then up 3 squares into the wall. And that's the block that you'd be hitting.
Okay, I was
But if you move here, you'd throw a diagonal one instead, and so it would be not touching your friends.
I didn't realize you could go diagonal.
Yep. 3-dimensional spaces. You could go upwards, downwards, leftwards, rightwards.
I was confused about the word cube because it's a long cube and not a square cube.
Oh no, it's a square cube, and it's 3 by 3. So yes. So what I'm saying here is
Oh, I'm so dumb. Sorry, math is hard for me. Okay.
yeah.
I get it now.
Oh, right. We're not playing by our normal third measurements. Typically, every other diagonal space is longer. Every other diagonal space is longer because if you throw a 30-foot radius, this 15 feet is the same as this 15 feet. And do you see how this is much longer than that?
Okay.
So this is usually 15 feet for us when we play on other games. So technically, I can see the confusion, yes. But for the purposes of this portion of it, you can go ahead and just hit just them. That's fine. I'm okay with that because that's how I would normally play it. Because this is much longer than 15 feet. Because
Gotcha.
this is 15 feet.
Okay. I'll do that. Well,
Okay.
I already did it.
Perfect. And mine failed, and Notter's not touched, so that's actually going to kill both of my swarms. You see in the midst behind you, Notter, Aveline kind of disappears. Then you hear kind of a slapping clap and the loud pulse that she's committed to once before, and you just are smacked in the back with raven bodies as they just kind of blast against your back.
At least I didn't get shocked this time.
All right. All right. On the druid's turn. Ouch. Hero, being as perceptive as you are, and my cat being as annoying as she is, will you just pick a spot and sit?
Mittens.
You bad cat. You see, Hero, another witch heading southward. However, this one is much outside of your range. They appear to be riding on a broomstick and heading southbound, about 100 feet over the ground, moving at a 90-foot, 180-foot clip away from the house. There's definitely a as she flies off that direction.
Is it also like the music from The Wizard of Oz?
Absolutely, 100%. And then these creatures, these blights, they have a monkey-like appearance, and they also have wings. And they fly off as well. Not.
Sounds familiar.
That's totally different from what I thought they looked like. That's okay.
Yeah, no, that's not what I was looking at.
The truth will set you free.
Suddenly.
Nodder, you're up.
All right, I go for the.
They are paralyzed with fear. They are not moving. They would have acted on that last turn, but they did nothing.
I go for the blight next to the stairs.
Okay.
17.
Hit.
9 plus 2 plus 2.
Yep, dead. All right. Next up is Alenia, who will move in next to Hero and attack with a mace.
They're cute.
So the ones on the right side are the ones we're killing right now. And the one in the middle is the needle one. And then the one on the left is the vine that's currently being ridden like a beast of burden.
Oh.
across the field. All right, that one gets killed too. Alenia does some work. Sen, you are up. Looks like it's murder plants time, but you're inside and can do whatever you like. So you understand what you're looking at when we come out here. If you step forward one square, I'll explain what you see.
Oh, into
If you're going in, your call
the
though.
wine room. Yeah.
To the left
I'm
and right,
just full on retreating.
to the left and right, there are barrels. Above you, about 10 feet, is a wooden balcony that seems to be kind of connected to the tops of the vats that you are kind of looking at, which are those circular segments to the right of the steps. The steps go up to the balcony above you. So if you were to go out and around the vats and then go up the stairs, that's where you presume the original druid, the one who heard you, came out and around. Besides that, there is a double door on the north side of the room, which is kind of here-ish. A double door that's slightly ajar on the right side of the room from you. A single door on the left side that is ajar. And you think there might be another space out this way as well. Some doors over here as well. This vat looks like it's got a crack in it and doesn't look like it's being used. But there's just a certain weight to these other three that makes you think that they have liquid in them. All right.
I would like to go. Shoot. You said I can go to the balcony?
If you come up and around the steps, yeah. So that's 5 feet, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If you dash, you could go up the stairs, yeah. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So bonus action dash, and when you get to this position I'm about to move you to, bear with me here a second. Sorry, I was not expecting that, so let me prepare.
You're good.
I
Full
s-
of surprises.
The people who were coming down from the roof were still technically up there, but this position with the dash will give you 10 more feet of movement. There is a swarm of ravens that seem to be kind of settled on the railing on the balcony on the left side, but they don't seem to be doing anything. They don't seem to be angry or upset. Your presumption is that since the druids aren't around to control them or order them around, they're not really going to be doing anything. Across the way from you, there is more wall, and you can also see down the tops of the vats. On the left side, there's a door that seems to exit out. The same is true on the right side. Small little steps that lead up to those doorways on the sides there. You can still move 10 feet, and you can also dash as a action if you want to keep moving.
Could I dash up to this door over on the right side?
Yeah, and open it if you wanted to, and that would be you'd be basically be right at the door. Opening it, you'll enter into what appears to be kind of like a loft. It seems to be over what you presume is kind of like the main kind of balcony, or sorry, garage area rather, or barn area in the on the right side where you were planning on leading up to. You see that there's some sort of apparatus that looks like kind of like a crane, and beneath it you see there's a wagon, and the wagon has 3 massive barrels with stamps on them that appear to read the Wizards of Wine or Wizard of Wines. All right, Hero, kill the rest of the blights, please.
That is the plan. I'm gonna hop right into this section. Shatter Spike to the one directly south.
Hit.
17.
Can't not kill it. And
7 damage.
next one.
Okay.
Misses.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Aveline.
Oh.
Yeah, oh my.
And Stephanie steals the glory. Just rush to the south and firebolt it. Oh!
I guess I'll clean up your mess once again.
when have you ever cleaned up any mess that I left in this journey?
Oh,
Rude.
rude.
Just saying. I don't.
feel like
Nobody's
have.
sleeping on the porch tonight.
You could have said, you could have ended it at, I'll clean up your mess, but then you had to say again.
I swear I've like finished someone off after you, so.
It's happened a couple times actually. If you
Has it though?
if you want to double check, you can just rewatch. That's gonna miss, by the way. Is she willing to spend her inspiration
Oh,
if he has
not
it?
so easy, huh?
Not her. The real mess cleaner upper.
I kill trees.
I kill trees.
I love nature, but I hate this.
I kill so many trees you wouldn't believe. And I get more ass than a toilet seat.
Not his motto.
Funnily enough, I was thinking of like the Charmin bear and how he like has like toilet paper on the
I love taking a shit. 13 hits. That'll kill it. You smash the last of the tree peoples. I'll go ahead and drop us off the initiative docket, and I'm assuming just to make sure, timing wise, 9:30 is a clear out time, right? Or-
Yes, please.
Okay. Cool. So then we'll just finish up the exploration of this spot. Sen, if you go into the next room to the left, it kind of leads into more personal areas, and it looks like some of them have already been kind of ransacked already. Basically, you've got a dining room. There's a bed chamber, another 3 bed chambers. One of them looks like it's been converted into kind of a workspace. The workspace appears to be for kind of crafting metalwork and also glasswork. You can see that there's a jig and other things that have kind of been set up to craft bottles in a very specific way, so that the bottles always come out the same. And you can see that there's some parchments as well that look like they might have kind of labeling on them. But yeah, other than that, pretty much uneventful up here. Nothing really to be found. If you go back downstairs to kind of clear out how it looks, I'm just going to real quick do one of these and one of those and a little bit of this. So you should see all
Horsies!
of the places on the map. Get the bottom as well. We'll go ahead and zoom out so you can kind of see the whole of the place as you're searching it over. The cellar looks like it is, very simple, basic. The secret door portion leads to a weird cavern portion. Don't worry about that. Not terribly important. You can see that there are, blah 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 stuff. Yeah. The place where people would step on their grapes and mash them into grape juice would be here. News reporters fall off, and oh my god, we've already done this joke in this game. Why does it keep coming back to Grape Lady? There are.
It's a good meme.
It's a good meme. It's a classic. There are horses in the stables. There is a wagon.
It's a grape meme.
Great inspiration. Get it. Get your inspiration.
Yes.
You burned it. You burned it.
Most importantly, there seems to be an outhouse in the very.
There is an outhouse.
There is a shitter. That is correct. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty basic. It looks like an old fort that's been converted into a winery.
Ooh. Good for them.
Yep.
Oh,
If you'd like, oh yeah, okay. So I'm assuming you would then go back to the were-ravens out in the forest, and tell them that you're done, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, they thank you kindly. Dabian, who was the father, the leader of them, says, we saw a couple of them get away. They might come back with reinforcements, but I think we'll be better prepared. I think I think me and my daughter and her husband are going to head over to the town and of Kresk and see if we can't hire some hired types to defend against that kind of thing. Head up towards the old King's Road and see if we can't find out about that.
Town, you say?
Aye. It's just across the Raven River to the north, across the bridge there. And if you make it to the bridge, don't head towards the lake. You want to head to the east, down the old King's Road to the town of Kresk. But that's where we're going to head in the morning. We're just going to make sure everything we have is good to go. If you're seeking out more information, the town might not be a bad place for you to go. But if you are looking for someone who has some understanding of the Bitter Hearts, well, you could see if Master Van Cushing is in his tower or not.
Tower where?
It's just on the lake. Van Cushing is a renowned monster hunter and one who stands against the demon Gulthias. It might be wise to see if he's there, even after going to the town. He might be of great importance to you, and he might be able to help you, and perhaps maybe you him.
Cool.
Thank you so much, and take as much wine as you'd like. And then you see kind of like a slap on the back from behind Stefania, kind of hitting him on the shoulder, and he says, "Within reason." And she says, "We still got a business to run." Well, we would,
Fair.
and you hear him say, "Well, we wouldn't have if it wasn't for them."
Also fair.
All right. So that said, we'll pick up in a week, and at that point, we'll decide at which point you want to continue on narratively, just so we can kind of skip through a bit to get to a point where it's more narratively easy to open. Are you cool with me fast tracking you to the bridge? And we start from the bridge at basically the point where you decide whether you go left or right. Cool. A choose your own adventure moment. All right, thanks for watching. Those that did, looks like we had a couple people chatting in the thing there. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the stream. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.